Live. How's it going, everybody? It's Dragon's Band of Merry Misfits here, and I am here today with
DragonbornYT999.
So, guys, welcome to our podcast today. Before we get into the actual podcast section of this, I want to start to give you guys a little life update, which I haven't done one for about 3 months or 2 months. First off, I got rid of a lot of the problems I was having in my life. I'm not going to go into too much specifics because, you know, they watch my videos, so we're not gonna go there. But I do want to say that I am also making a positive change in my life. I am moving to a different state, and another bit of news: my friend Dragonborn here.
I'm gonna be joining them, guys.
So I'm going to live with my girlfriend, as you guys know, as Lady Dracona. So me, Lady Dracona, and Dragonborn will be living together.
It'll be a great investment.
Yes. You guys can actually expect to see a lot of Dragonborn on the channel. Both channels after about 2 months. He'll be moving in a lot later than I am, but
yeah, it's gonna be a bit, guys.
But just, I hope you guys give him a warm welcome, because he is a really good friend of mine, and we've done a lot of, cool shit together.
Yes. I wish I could have been part of some of these videos sooner, but I didn't have the right tools.
So, that being said, I'm moving. I have a vehicle that is about to be completely up and running.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. And here's the big thing. This is where I get into the what to expect next from this channel. Of course, as you guys can tell, you can expect more of these podcasts. You can expect reaction videos, challenges, vlogs. I always say this, and we haven't done very much of it, but in the next year, expect some vlogs out there, because we expect to go do some really cool shit once we move.
I heard there's a really cool Renaissance fair where we're going.
Renaissance festivals. We'll have a lot of comic conventions around us. Or just like when we go on vacation or something. If all 3 of us go on vacation, expect a vlog from that.
It's gonna be fucking awesome, guys.
And let's be fair here. I just want to put out there that when we move, we will also be doing a house tour and a setup tour once we get our whole setup finished and finalized for our office.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome, guys. It's gonna be great.
So, okay. Now that we got that well out of the way, moving on forward, today's topic is going to be back to Dragon Ball. I've done one of these before, but this is a part 2, because I did that one with my previous roommate. Like I said, we're not touching into that, but today I'm here with Dragonborn, who, not surprisingly enough, he's not that well versed in Dragon Ball, but he is very intrigued in Dragon Ball now.
Yes.
And part of that is technically due
to this
me.
guy right there. He's awesome. I love him.
So first off, Ty, give me your opinion so far on what you know. What do you think about Dragon Ball? Just starting out.
Well, starting out, I tried watching the original Dragon Ball, and like many others, I could not get through it.
It's a very slow anime, the first whole series. It's very slow. It's not fast paced.
It reminds me a lot of One Piece and more stuff along that line.
Now, Dragon Ball Z, on the other hand,
oh, I've seen some of the stuff for that. Holy.
I've just shown him clips, guys. I've shown him clips, and that's about it. but he loves it. He loves it, and
I'm also loving Super. I've seen a few episodes of it. I'm already loving it so far.
and my thing is, what do you think about the art style change from Z to Super? Which do you prefer?
Well, there's a lot of good aspects for both. For one, Super has a lot of CGI.
Well, in the movies, yes, but like when we're talking art styles here, I mean like the main Super to the main Z.
Honestly, I believe I prefer Z.
Z has a better contrast because in Z you can tell that they're shaded better.
Yes.
Not just that they're shaded better, but the art style and the characters. They made Goku look, I mean, ripped because he's constantly training.
He can do trillions of push-ups and sit-ups in seconds.
In Z, they're all a lot more in shape. In Super, yeah, they've got the muscles, but
you can't tell.
You can't tell that they've been through this lifetime of training and fighting. It's not there. So, that being said, I want to talk about... Let's see. I want to talk about my experiences with Dragon Ball first so I can get Ty looking on me. I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was 3 years old. 3 years old.
That's a pretty long time, man.
Original Dragon Ball came out in the 80s. Then Z came out in the late 90s. But anyway, Dragon Ball Z came out in the late 90s, and so did GT. As soon as Z ended, a few, like maybe 2 years later, GT came out. And even though GT's non-canon, I love it to death. It's a great series. The beginning of it is about as slow as original Dragon Ball. Then after you get past the first chunk, it's nothing but action, nothing but really good story, and I love it. Super, when it came out, I was ecstatic because it had been years since we seen anything Dragon Ball.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong there.
I owned every PS2 game that was Dragon Ball because they came with Budokai 2, Budokai 3.
The only Dragon Ball game that I'd ever played before today, well, since before when I move in, which I'm sure I'm going to be playing some games with you, was actually Xenoverse
2. Xenoverse 2 is really good. But, like I said, Budokai 1, 2, and 3, there's this game called Dragon Ball Sagas. That's kind of one of those, like, side-scroller beat-em-up games, but put in 3D. And it only goes up to the end of the Cell Saga.
That does not sound very good.
It's not. I hated it. Then they had Dragon Ball Z Super, also really bad. Like, for a Dragon Ball game, it was just complete shit.
How so? Oh, I'm scared for this.
Now, here came the best 3 games of the Dragon Ball series, in my opinion.
Budokai
Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. That was something for its time. I mean, 1 had, it wasn't a bunch of characters, but it was, the mechanics for the fighting were great. And Dragonborn here, he's gonna be playing this with me once I beat the games for the PS2, and I'll record it for you guys, so you guys have content of us literally probably getting pissed off at each other for beating each other's asses.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be laughing my ass off at the same time.
So that being said, then we boost up to the PS3. I owned both of the most popular ones that were on PS3, which was called Raging Blast and Raging Blast 2. You would think they were made by the same people as Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but they weren't. At least not fully. There was a lot of differences, but the fighting mechanics were a lot like Budokai Tenkaichi. Then we get into the next batch, which was Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. Revolutionary,
but it's not the best.
Not the best, and not my favorite. One of the key aspects I hated from that game was the stamina bar. If someone hits you one good time,
it's all gone.
It's done. You're cooked. The whole game's done. You're pissed off. But
I did see a bunch of videos where people modded the game. Omni King Black Goku. Oh my god. Everybody's dead. It's just everybody's dead.
He wants to go into modding. He doesn't know before he started coming to stay the night a lot and hanging out. I modded the game on PC. And I had all kinds of characters. I was just fucking around with it. And I actually busted my PC down one time because it was just too much. So, there is that. And then there's Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters. I do not like that. The button layout is so horrible.
I've seen videos of Fighters and it just, oh my god, it does not look good.
No, and for me as a Dragon Ball fan and a fighting game fan, that was a offense to my eyes. Then we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is basically just a story-based game. There's no multiplayer, there's no online play. It's just a story game, which is good. It's kind of like the Game Boy game that came out called Legacy of Goku 1 and 2. Pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's good, but it's not at my favorites. Now, here comes our main focus here. Dragon Ball
Sparking
Zero. I've been showing Dragonborn trailers for the last month. And
holy shit, it looks fucking amazing.
It looks amazing. The graphics are just so beautifully handcrafted.
It's almost like you're in the actual anime.
You're in it's literally anime graphics. There's no change. So, that being said, I want to talk to him and you guys about what they added. Because he's seen some of the stuff and he's heard some of the stuff, but I haven't showed him everything. So, like I told you earlier, 164 characters. But that includes the transformations as their own character slot.
Ooh.
So that's going to take up a lot of the characters. But there's also going to be DLC for the next couple of years. Because look at Xenoverse 2. It came out all the way in 2014 or 15.
Still getting DLCs.
Still getting DLC. So we could have...
And mods.
Right. And we could have characters for the next couple of years coming out. And next up is the fact that they have a story builder. So you can create your own story.
Yeah, like, I've seen the what-if scenarios.
There's what-if scenarios as well. So what I mean by story creator, they have this whole section where you can put what characters you want and then make your own individual story. Which is crazy.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
But like you said, there is the what if scenarios. So what they've showcased up to this point is you either go with Piccolo or Krillin to go fight Raditz. You beat Raditz, you go on to the part where Nappa and Vegeta get to. Now here's where it branches off. You go with Krillin or any of the other Z fighters. It looked like you can pick different outcomes. You go with Krillin, he ends up dying against Vegeta, which sparks the Super Saiyan transformation early. So Super Saiyan Goku versus Scouter Vegeta.
Huh.
I just want to put out there, Vegeta's cooked.
Yeah, no.
Instantly.
There's no chance. Like, dude. Then with that what if scenario, we're basically getting into a whole nother timeline where Vegeta's no longer existing.
There's that. There's also, from what someone said, depending on how you play it, there should be a what if of if Gohan went Super Saiyan first. Depending on how you play things off.
It's all what if scenario.
Yep. All throughout the story, there's going to be different branches that could lead to different possible outcomes.
I'm excited for it.
I am too. I do know that because there's this new anime that's coming out, it's Akira Toriyama's last work, which is Dragon Ball Daima, or Dragon Ball Magic in Japan.
You've told me it doesn't look too good, but if I'm gonna be honest, it looks like it could be good if they play it off.
Not to mention, like I said, this is Akira Toriyama's last official work. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Because this is the last thing the actual Dragon Ball creator made. We don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but ultimately everyone's probably going to end up saying, oh,
It's probably not going to be that good because Akira Toriyama is not the one being there to make it.
Well, no. He already finished the story for it and everything. So this is his. This isn't like GT. This is his work all the way through. But people are going to say it's probably not going to be that good. But my thing is, you should still love it as much as you did Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Super. Because this is a creator who pumped his heart and soul into a part of the franchise.
Just like Stan Lee with Marvel, Akira Toriyama with Dragon Ball. It's like a father.
Because I don't know if you know how Akira Toriyama died. He died of a brain bleed. He was working himself so tirelessly to the point he actually died working on Dragon Ball.
And I remember you showed me his last word, and it was Goku waving goodbye. Piccolo waving goodbye. Sorry.
And what I want to say to that is, it takes a lot of dedication and love to his fans to work himself that hard. And I think us as fans, no matter what there's something he created, we should show it the same care as all the rest of his creations.
If you want me to be honest, Akira Toriyama, he's a great man. Everybody knows he's a great man. So honestly, if he went to a good place after he died, which he most likely did, I bet he's just up there with all of his creations, having a good time, having a blast.
I agree. I mean, there's all this artwork that has been poured out. There's been all this AI generated stuff.
It's never gonna compete with it.
Well, no. I'm saying this. It of him being with his characters, in heaven or whatnot, or the tombstone with Goku crying over it or something like that.
It's all just a grand old time.
It's a grand time to be a Dragon Ball fan. And even in Japan, in America, there was people standing outside with their hands in the air, doing one last spirit bomb for Akira Toriyama.
God, now I wish I joined in on that.
I do too. it amazes me because just like every fan base, Dragon Ball has had its ups and downs. You know, fans get mad, they argue and whatnot, but at a time like this, especially after his death, fans come together.
It's a beautiful sight how humans can come together. Because even through all of our arguments, all the opinions, all the hates, we all still come together in the end. The indomitable human spirit, as it's called.
And I'm looking at my YouTube on my TV right now, and I see something I'm gonna have to watch with Dragonborn after we get off. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, create your own custom sagas. We were just talking about that, and I just did not even notice that was on the TV. So we are going to be doing a Dragon Ball marathon as soon as we move in together. And what I think would be a great idea to kick off my channel in this way, when he moves in, I think we should do a reaction
Oh, yes.
to each episode with him, so you guys can be there with him through his first official
marathon of Dragon Ball.
Yes, him seeing everything and understanding everything after that.
I'm most likely gonna forget every fucking thing after we're done, but it's gonna be a beautiful time.
I actually doubt that because Caden, he, for the longest time, he would tell me that before he seriously got into it because of me. And he retains every bit of information.
I struggle with retaining information, really, because... Okay, this is going to be something about me real quick, if you're alright with that. My brain has always struggled with keeping in information for long periods of time. It's not as bad as another person that we know, but I'm not saying any names. Stop making that face.
I didn't say anything.
But the only real information that I can keep for long periods of time is stuff that's really, really important to me. People that are important to me.
And I can understand that. I mean, there is going to be some stuff that you probably will retain, but even if you don't retain everything, that's fine. It's just, as long as you enjoy the series for what it is.
It's just like with a bunch of my characters that I've made. I can barely remember anything from their stories now. Probably because I was in a bad part of my life, but we're not getting into that today. Today we're just talking about Dragon Ball. So shall we continue?
Yes. So far from what you've seen, if you could pick one character to be your favorite, it can be Goku, it doesn't have to be Goku. Out of any of the Dragon Ball characters, who is your favorite?
That I've seen so far?
Yes.
Can it be from the abridged stuff?
I mean, yeah. Okay, abridged and non-abridged.
Popo.
From the abridged. Okay, and normal Dragon Ball, who's your favorite?
Honestly, Vegeta.
My man. I agree with that. My thing is, he grew so much in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. He became the most hated character in the first part of Dragon Ball, and then you see his progression.
And it's just beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, I know this is going to trigger some people, but honestly it kind of reminds me of Bakugan. His transformation was beautiful as well. I know this is a Dragon Ball strip, but there's a lot of comparisons I can see between those two. Because they go from the most hated character, the bully, the guy that everybody hates because he's always loud and always fighting for no reason, to a character that people can relate to, that people love and cherish.
I agree with that. The reason I like Vegeta so much is he's someone you can kind of look to for motivation sometimes, because he's a very prideful person, and he takes everything so seriously because he has things to fight for.
That's what makes him beautiful. It's the fact that he always comes out whenever something that he really, really cares about gets hurt or tarnished, and he goes at it in righteous fury.
Because in Dragon Ball Super, there's a scene I haven't shown you yet. Vegeta actually cries over his fallen comrade, Kaba, from Universe 6. Because he's a Saiyan from Universe 6. And he gets erased. When him and his whole universe gets erased, he made a promise to bring Kaba and his universe back. And he got knocked out. He was getting knocked out of the ring, and he said, "Kaba, I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise to you." And he gave his energy to Goku to finish it. That just shows that he does have remorse. He is a character who has grown from being a villain to being kind of, I don't want to say an anti-hero, he's become a hero in his own right.
I'll say kind of like a vigilante in this case. It's not that he's good. He's not necessarily good in any means necessary. But at the same time, he also does have a sense of what's right.
Just like in the manga, he shows remorse to the Namekians because he slaughtered a whole village of them. And he showed remorse for that and tried to help them out. And he even said it. He said, "I am trying to right my wrongs that I did to these people."
It's beautiful.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate all the thought they gave to his character. But other than that, what would you like to see in the future for Dragon Ball?
Well, honestly, I'm a big One Punch Man fan. I would love to see an actual hand-drawn animation, like an actual anime of a crossover between those two universes. It would be awesome.
Because what's weird is Saitama in One Punch Man is actually not a Jump character. He's not in the Shonen Jump, which is weird.
In the first season might be shonen, but the thing is, the reason why it's not shonen is because it's not necessarily old art style.
Not just that, it's just the fact that, yeah, it's fighting, but it's not to the point of like One Piece or Naruto or Dragon Ball. Because even Yu-Gi-Oh! Is considered a Shonen Jump anime.
How is that possible?
Because if you play the game called Jump Force, they bring many of the anime characters into a single game.
What is shonen? Can you explain it to me?
Okay, so here, since we are streaming, I can actually go and look that up. Give us a second. But anyway, go on about what you were talking about, what you would like to see from that, and I'll look this up and I'll give you an answer in just a second.
The reason why I want to see an actual real series for a crossover between One Punch Man and Dragon Ball is, it's not because I want to see who's more powerful between Goku and Saitama, because it's already been confirmed by so many people. I'm not trying to get into those fights again, because I know how bad it is to get into fandoms. But I want to see what types of villains they would fight, and what challenges they would overcome if they fought together. And just how powerful Saitama would be in the Dragon Ball universe. Because there's already a manga for that where Vegeta and Saitama fought. But that was before the Cosmic Garo stuff.
And it's not even just that. I mean, they've pulled characters that are odd into Dragon Ball, such as Arale from Dr. Slump, which Arale is a gag manga character. So she's just overpowered, no matter what. So Shonen anime is a Japanese animated series that is aimed at a young male audience. The term shonen translates to boy or youth in Japanese. So most of this is just
male protagonists on action-packed adventures, battles, or quests. Set in fantasy or sci-fi settings. The genre is known for its dynamic storytelling and common themes such as friendship, perseverance, heroism, and coming of age. So, I guess that makes sense why One Punch Man is there.
If you can look up here, this is most of the shonen. You even have Death Note on here. So Death Note, Fairy Tail, One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, all of them are up here.
It makes sense to me why One Punch Man isn't up there now, because thing is, it's not really about any of those genres that it showed. It's just about comedy and fighting. That's all it is.
That's all it is. And speaking of which, do you know that Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto actually hold the spot as the golden trio of shonen anime? They are considered the grandfathers of anime.
But one of them is not part of the big three, surprisingly. It's Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball?
No.
Or was it One Piece?
No, it's One Piece.
Okay.
So One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Naruto are the golden three.
No. What? I thought Bleach was one of them.
No. It's a close runner-up. It's actually fourth.
Oh,
but
I got you.
The golden three is the ones that are literally the grandfathers of anime. And now the actual grandfather of anime.
It's just a shadow show. It's just shadow puppet show.
No, I mean, out of all three of them, the one that is the grandfather of anime, and it's been confirmed even by the other creators of those, is Dragon Ball.
Well, not only because of Akira Toriyama's death, but also because of how much of success it was on bringing people into anime.
And how many people love Dragon Ball in general. There is a bigger fan base than even any one of those. Even the creators have said it. The people that created One Piece and Naruto said Dragon Ball
is number one.
And it's good to see that, because the fact that the creators of other animes can be like, that's who we look up to. That's why we do what we do. That's nice. I love that. But anyway.
But what saddens me is that as time goes on, as generations come and go, eventually Dragon Ball is still going to be seen as one of the best of all time. But it's going to die out. It's just like everything else that we've ever seen. Which is sad. It's sad to me that that happens. But what I like to think about is that one day Dragon Ball might be encased in like a golden frame as one of the best animes of all time. And it's going to be beautiful.
It will be. So
we might not even be alive for that time.
No, we probably won't be around to see that. And if we are, we'll be very lucky. So I know my podcasts are usually about an hour long, but since this is Dragonborn's first one, we're going to keep this short and sweet. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for listening in. Anyone that watches this later on, And I would like to thank Dragonborn for coming on with me. And,
Of course. Plus, I'm gonna be here tomorrow as well.
Yep, and we'll be doing another podcast tomorrow. That one should be at least tomorrow morning.
Which I will be okay with, because honestly, this was nice. This was fun.
Because he has off of work the very next day anyway.
So we can. So honestly, if we wanted to, we could do it all night.
Yep.
I wouldn't care. But we would have to fall asleep at some point because I gotta try this. So,
and I have to go to bed for work tomorrow, but I'll be good as long as it's not around 2 a.m. But that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast.
we hope to see you guys tomorrow, and y'all have a good night.
That's Dragonborn signing off. But I would like to say, if you guys want to see anything else, you want to go to my social medias. They're all my channel details. You go to my YouTube channel, you go to details. All of my links are down there. Also my link tree, which will have all my stuff and the collab channels that are on there. So like me and Lady Dracona's channel we have together is on there. My gaming channel is on there. You guys go pop in and subscribe to those. So thank you guys so much for watching.